You are listening to Aftersight. This recording is intended solely for individuals who are blind or have low vision.
Thank you for joining us for the Rooster podcast. My name is Dawn. This is being recorded on Sunday, August 11th, and I will be reading from this month's edition of the Rooster. The content I am about to read is a direct excerpt from the source material and does not represent my personal views or those of Aftersight. Please be aware there is an occasional swear word in this material. The artwork on the cover of this month's edition of The Rooster is by Colorado-based artist Mike Fudge. And I will do my best to describe it. It's in comic book style. It is two bears, and they are completely covered in kind of what looks like green hazmat suits. They both have baseball caps on, one of which has a bear on it. So a bear is wearing a baseball cap with a bear on it. And the other one has a little picture of mountains. And we'll get started with the interview with Mike Fudge in the Art Talk section of this month's edition of The Rooster. Art Talk, the lucky one. Speaking with Colorado-based artist Mike Fudge, there is an instant recognition of his humility. When asked about his rituals and routines as a tenured artist, he casually mentions a 2 to 3 hour daily drawing practice that he upholds. There is no ego when Fudge mentions his illustrious list of clients, which include Pearl Jam, Blink-182, and the Dave Matthews Band. Over the past 11 years, Fudge has established himself as a leader in the illustrative art space. Rooster magazine sat down with Fudge to talk about going solo, becoming your own boss, and the unspoken reality of luck in an artist's life. Were you always artistically inclined, or did you find that path later in life? I always liked to draw. I drew when I was a kid, mostly things I was into at the time, like comics and anime. But I had no serious ambitions to do art until I was in my 20s. So I definitely came to it a little later than most people who get into this industry, I think. Do you recall a specific moment in your life that opened your eyes to the possibility of art as a career path? I used to play in a band, which was hard to navigate because the success was related to the whole group, not just one person. When the band fizzled out, it was disappointing to me. That's why art was appealing, because I loved the idea of something that couldn't be interfered with. It would just be on my shoulders. I was exposed to murals and graffiti around that time too, and that really just took off for me and became my primary interest. How would you describe the experience of finding community as a self-employed solo artist? Do you find that you're able to talk and relate with other artists in the Colorado community, or do you enjoy the solitude of it? I like both, no doubt, but I spend a lot of time in solitude. There's not a lot of artist community where I live, but I do love the community aspect of working with clients. The solo career became the preference, and it is, but I do actually really enjoy working with other people to make art. I feel really fortunate in that I get a lot of work that is pretty open-ended. There is, of course, a dialogue that happens, or sometimes there is a certain need, but I really have the freedom to make pretty much whatever I want. What have you learned about yourself as an artist and business owner through having this level of creative and professional freedom? This job requires planning and discipline. I'm making my own schedule and have to understand that I have to be accountable for my own work. I don't think I was that great at the structure aspect initially. I know some people might come a little easier too, but in my case, it took a lot of trial and error. I was terrible at it for long periods of time, but fortunately, I've got to the point where the way that I do things now, it works for me. I had to tone down the majestic free art thing in exchange for some practicality. The artwork on the facing page for this article includes 3 concert posters, one of which is for Blink-182, and it has a rabbit in the same sort of giant kind of hazmat-y suit looking thing, and it's red, and he has a green flag that he's carrying, and the show was on February 21st, 2024. There's another poster for the Wu-Tang Clan, and this is another character. I can't really tell what kind of character it is, but it is standing in front of what appears to be the sun, and its hazmat suit is also red, and it looks more like a cloak, and it's covering his whole figure, whatever that figure is. And then the other poster is for Dirty Heads and Sublime in Rome. And this poster looks like a desert. So it is cacti in the desert. And all of the cacti spears are also covered in this kind of cloaky, puffy coat kind of thing, red and green. And then there is a figure, a tiny figure kind of standing in the middle of the desert of the cacti. And he also has a pointy hat on, like a dunce hat, and holding a flag as well. Continuing with the interview. Your portfolio includes concert posters for Wu-Tang Clan, Blink-182, and Pearl Jam, as well as national commercial clients like Kaiser Permanente and the X Games. For artists reading this, how do you secure such high-profile clients, and what's the trick for maintaining them? Social media exposure definitely helped, and doing concert posters is a great way to get a lot of eyes on your work. Honestly, I don't want to claim pure serendipity or a stroke of luck, but there's a big element of that. I don't ever hear people talk about that, but it's a factor, no doubt. Why do you feel like luck, serendipity, or right place, right time is seldom discussed when talking about an artist's success? I almost envy people who take all the credit for their success and completely deny the factor of luck. That would be nice to feel that way, but I can't deny the role good fortune has played in my life. I think effort and luck are both part of it. You just have more control over the effort you put in. Even if you do get lucky enough to have a big break, you still have to hit your targets and meet deadlines. But I don't think it diminishes your work to admit you got lucky along the way. I know I did. Another piece of artwork includes a character who has his face covered. He also has a dunce kind of cap on, and it looks a little bit like a samurai outfit. He also has a long pole that has some Japanese-looking lanterns on it. He has really large feet, and he's wearing the same sort of puffy, kind of hazmat-y suit-looking clothes. And there's a quote on this page that says, "That's why art was appealing, because I loved the idea of something that couldn't be interfered with." What would you say to an up-and-coming artist who is still waiting for that lucky break? Reach out for guidance or advice. I didn't do that at first because I didn't know anyone doing what I was doing, but it can really help. Also, make yourself someone that the client can rely on, because it's a really unreliable industry in general, I think. It's hard to systemize art, and so I'm sympathetic to it, and I struggle with it still and always will. But I do try to make it what the people I work with want. I try to be the reliable one. How have you kept yourself motivated to keep going after all these years? I don't really feel like I have another option. I know I could find something else to do for a living, but doing anything other than this art would be a dissatisfying life. And the last piece of art on this last page of the interview is also kind of another looking Japanese samurai sort of character wearing that, again, that puffy sort of cloak. Everything is covered. This one has a dunce hat on, but it has bird houses on the dunce hat. There are several birds in this image, and they're green and red. And the person that's covered, it also has a stick, and it has birdhouses hanging off of it and birds sitting on it as well. There is a 2-page spread, an ad for Rooster Art Fest, presented by Meow Wolf in Denver on September 22nd, 2024 at Real Works Denver. That's REEL Works Denver. Live art, live music, food trucks, all-you-can-eat tacos, live art by Aaron Brooks, Chris Dyer, Mike Fudge, Chris Haven, Casey K, Patrick McGregor, Alexandra Pangburn, Big in Hell, Birdcap, Brandon Rowland, Brett Draws, Steph, C3PO, Chelsea Lewinsky, Dreamscape, Ilson, Geronimo Guana, Joe Palick, Joshua Finley, Julio Mendoza, Kaylee Bender, Coco Bear, K-Tone, Matador, Mike Graves, Mr. Mars, Nice Beats, Ravina Gonzalez, Reverie, Rubezilla, Scully Speaks, Swab and Tusk, Taylor Herzogcha, Travis Gillian, and Waveform. Live music presented by Fresh Baked Boulder Cannabis Dispensary, Mers, Ela, and Scarab of the Living Legends. Tickets on sale now. Another ad is for the Streetwise Mural Festival, September 13th through the 15th in Boulder, Colorado. Live painting, mural tours, music, community workshops, and more. And there are 4 photos of murals. One of the murals has 3 females standing in front of it, one of which is wearing a hat and coveralls that are shorts. And the one is sitting on a ladder. They're all 3 smiling, and the third one has black cutoff shorts on and a tank top. And the other 3 images, one mural is a polar bear standing on an ice cap, and it looks like he's talking, and what would be words is now a rainbow of colors coming out. The third image is of what looks to be sort of a monk, painted green, and that is a mural in process, and it does show the artist working on it as well. And there is a yellow flower in the forefront of that mural. And then the last mural photo image on this ad is of what appears to be a squid, just one tentacle. The artist is actually working on it as well, and it's more horizontal. It's on a blue background, and it has an empty bottle of what might be whiskey or something else that has a note in it. Kind of like a message in a bottle. Next up is Absurdist News. Bubonic plague comes to Colorado. Bubonic plague confirmed in Pueblo County, as we wonder if that's why our tummy hurts. Pueblo officials confirmed a case of the bubonic plague last month, making us wonder if that's why we're so nauseous or if it has to do with the 12 Budweisers we drank last night. Officials are unsure of where the case came from, but usually plague is transmitted via fleas or rodents. An article from Colorado Public Radio explains that symptoms for plague include chills, nausea, and a severe headache, once again proving our theory that we're not severely hungover and merely have a small case of the plague. The article goes on to explain that there are several ways to deter the spread of plague, such as eliminating areas where rodents hide, or using bug spray, or not letting your pets sleep in bed with you. That last one threw us for a loop. Our dogs are very good boys. Yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. And if it came down to not letting our dogs sleep in bed with us, well, we think we'd rather just catch the plague. Traffic stop yields various drugs disguised as Taco Bell burritos as we wait. Isn't this just the plot of Breaking Bad? A Tennessee woman was arrested during a traffic stop after police found various illicit substances wrapped in Taco Bell wrappers and tortillas. And while we applaud the ingenuity, we'd almost swear that this is a key plot point in Breaking Bad. An article from WebTV explains that the woman was found to have drugs such as meth, LSD, fentanyl-laced gummies, and other pills in her possession. And we can only assume that she stood her ground and claimed she had no idea what they're putting into Dorito Crunch Wrap Supremes these days. This whole thing still reads like a Breaking Bad spinoff. Breaking Bell? And if we recall correctly, that series ends with a murderous rampage when Bryan Cranston's character learns that his favorite restaurant is discontinuing Cinnamon Twists and Baja Blast. In fact, the only reason Walter White starts selling methamphetamine in the first place is to account for Taco Bell-related inflation. Remember, when you could get 2 beefy 5-layer burritos for $2.59, this country is imploding. And lastly, under Absurdist News, Amazon Tribe connects to internet, porn, and social media addictions abound. An Amazon Tribe recently connected to the internet for the first time via Starlink, and it was only a matter of time after that before they completely blew up their dopamine systems with 15-second-long reels and rampant pornography addictions. When it arrived, everyone was happy, said one of the tribe members, 73, to the New York Times. But now things have gotten worse. Young people have gotten lazy because of the internet. They're learning the ways of the white people. We totally understand where this tribe member is coming from, but to be honest, equating the ways of white people with laziness involving social media and pornography is the funniest thing we've read all year. We can't blame them either. We too lost connection to our hunting and gathering roots as soon as we realized that the internet was chock full of videos involving stepmoms getting railed from behind after getting stuck inside washing machines. The image on this page is of a person wearing what looks to be a raven costume, also with a cloak and a hat. And he's standing, or this figure is standing in a field of wheat, is what it looks like. Behind him is an image of that scary Bronco at DIA, the blue Bronco with orange eyes behind him. And then behind that is DIA. Next up, I'll describe a double-page spread ad for Meow Wolf and Illegal Keats, and an event from 8/1 to 8/31. It's tortilla time, and the images in this ad are very vibrantly colored, kind of colors, tie-dye looking. There's pink, there's purple, there's yellow, and there's images and illustrations of people eating burritos. And it says, enter the burrito verse. Eat it, wear it at Illegal Pete's 8/1 to 8/31. Plus, limited merch dropping at Meow Wolf Denver. We'll look at another ad. This is also a double-page spread. It says, Pop the Bubbly Summer Rosé, ROZAY, now available at select locations. There's also a QR code to find locations, and the copy is set upon a background that is just bubbles, a lot of different bubbles, and it has it's pretty much purple and pink, both pages. On the right-hand page is also an image of a hand with bright pink nail polish on its nails, and it's holding what is probably the summer rosé. It is for Spherex, SPHEREX, and the website is wearspherex.com, WEARESPHEREX. And there's a warning that says, warning, use of marijuana concentrate may lead to 1, psychotic symptoms and or psychotic disorder, delusions, hallucinations, or difficulty distinguishing reality. 2, mental health symptoms, problems. 3, cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, CHS, uncontrolled and repetitive vomiting. 4, cannabis use disorder, dependence, including physical and psychological dependence. Next to read is Things to Do in August. And we'll start with August 10th, the Boulder Taco Fest, Boulder Civic Center and Library, Boulder, Colorado. Don't miss Boulder Taco Fest, one of Colorado's favorite events for taco lovers, margarita, craft beer aficionados, live music, and of course comedy, lucha libre wrestling. The fest is along beautiful Boulder Creek and Boulder on 810. Wristbands are selling fast and kids are free with a parent's ticket purchase. www.bouldertacofest.com. From 8/1 to 8/11, the Boulder County Fair, Longmont, Colorado. The Boulder County Fair is the oldest fair in Colorado, celebrating its 154th year. Take in the occasion with livestock shows, a petting zoo, and sketchy carnival rides. Toss in a couple giant turkey legs and cold beer, and you're living the American dream. Tickets move quickly, so make sure to purchase them in advance. Also, 8/1 to 8/31, Orcas, Our Shared Future. Denver Museum of Nature and Science, Denver, Colorado. Ever since Free Willy, we've had a fascination with the orca whale. And when we heard they were sinking boats just for the hell of it, we were even more fascinated with these cuddly creatures. Now, explore where science, art, and pop culture meet in celebration of our relationship with the fascinating and awe-inspiring orca. 8/8 to 8/11, Cinemac Film Festival. SIE Film Center, SIE Film Center, Denver, Colorado. Denver's only LGBTQ plus film festival, celebrating the vibrant and diverse stories in the community through a captivating selection of curated movies, panels, and discussions, and iconic events. 8:14, Flexiverse, EUTI Glow, Booty Glow. The Owl Wolf Denver, Colorado. Bend your body and your mind. Join us for an electrifying experience led by talented instructors, Chelsea Gressman and Sarah Broussard, with beats provided by DJ Seeker. Bring your mat and water bottle and prepare for a cosmic yoga experience. 8:17, Fort Collins' Peach Festival, Civic Center Park in Fort Collins, Colorado. Millions of peaches for free, well, kinda. While the event is only $10, you can enjoy a full day of peach everything. Isn't life peachy? The festival includes food, beer gardens, vendors, and live music, all while you gorge on peaches of the many variety. Also on 8/17, 10th Annual Conscious Alliance All-Stars Benefit, Cherry Hills Village, Colorado. Join us for the 10th Annual Conscious Alliance All-Stars Benefit. Enjoy an evening in support of hunger relief, including live music, curated dinner by Black Belly, open bar by Jungle, and an exclusive live auction. 8:18, Broncos versus Packers in Power Field, Denver, Colorado. Believe it or not, football is back. And believe it or not, the Broncos are on their 13th quarterback since Peyton Manning intelligently retired from the orange and blue to pursue a career in pizza. We have hope that Zach Wilson will sleep with at least one Colorado mom this season, which happens to be one more than the total touchdowns he'll throw this season. 8:18, Rumble in the Rockies at the Gaylord Rockies Resort in Aurora, Colorado. Whether you need to clean up your shaggy head of hair or are simply interested in seeing what's innovative in the hairstyle space, Rumble in the Rockies has it for you. The show features many local barbers and hairstylists to make you look nice and pretty for your Match.com date that will ultimately not go well. 8:17 and 8:18, The Strongest Man on Earth at Blue Arena in Loveland, Colorado. You lift, bro? Neither do we, but we sure as hell like to watch very strong, manly men lift objects we couldn't fathom moving with a crane. The weekend-long competition consists of a series of events to ultimately award the honor of being the world's strongest man to a deserving, manly man, all while we shovel hot dogs and beers down our face hole with no intent of ever working out again. 8:22 to 24, the Q Barbecue Fest in Denver, Civic Center Park, Denver, Colorado. The self-described protein party will be at Civic Center Park, serving up drinks and barbecue from award-winning pitmasters. Just don't forget to take at least a few sips of water because it's August and, well, meat sweats are a real thing. 8:24, a collection of beauty fashion show, Central Park Embassy Suites, Denver, Colorado. Come enjoy a day of fashion and entertainment. Witness some of Denver's talented models, designers, performers, and vendors. A collection of beauty is a show you can relate to and incorporates the Colorado influences we've come to love. 8:24, Michael Che and Colin Jost at the Belco Theater in Denver, Colorado. If you weren't aware, we're right in the middle of an election season, and we're not sure how we'll make it another 3 months of this shit. Luckily, 2 SNL alum should have a nice take on all the chaos in the world. 8:30 through 31, the Jazz Experience, JAS, in Snowmass Town Park, Aspen, Colorado. Brandy Carlisle, Sting, Tim McGraw, One Republic, and many more artists will be performing at this beautiful festival in the mountains. Enjoy food, crafts, world-renowned VIP experiences, and great music. Plus, you finally have an excuse to go to Aspen, where beautiful women instinctively flock, like the salmon to Capistrano. 9/1 and 9/2, WWE, NXT Next, No Mercy, and Monday Night Raw. Ball Arena, Denver, Colorado. Can you smell what Ball Arena is cooking? We're not talking about overpriced pretzels and hot dogs. No, we're talking about pile drivers, leg locks, and power bombs of the greatest magnitude. For 2 nights, WWE takes over Ball Arena for an enjoyable evening of pure, unadulterated wrestling that'll make you feel as excited as Vince McMahon when there's a new office hire. Next up is the list. 5 unorthodox ways to quit your job. We're at that point in the summer where 40 hours a week at the desk is liable to kill a man. Whether you're in the market for something that pays higher or you're just going to buy $100 worth of rice and beans and go live under an overpass, you're going to need to quit your job first. Here's a couple ways we think you could do that by Marshall Dunham. Number 1, remove your uniform while on clock. When we were in high school, our buddy Shane took his Albertson shirt off at the checkout line, threw it at his manager, flipped him the double bird, and walked out of that storefront shirtless. More than 15 years later, we still think that shit's so fucking cool. If you've had it up to here, we're holding a hand above our head at the keyboard, but you can't see it because we're using the written word here with your manager. Consider getting them back their uniform in real time. Bonus points if the uniform includes pants, too. Number 2, rampant substance abuse. Speaking of high school, when we were working at Chick-fil-A our freshman year, our buddy Hayden got fired after he hit a hash pipe through the drive-thru window. If we didn't know any better, we'd almost bet that he waited until our manager walked into the front of the store before he did it too. Later, he sold us a quarter pound of his stepdad's weed for $400. We don't know what entirely became of Hayden in his later years, but if he had to choose between slinging chicken sandwiches or slinging metric shitloads of weed, we certainly hope he chose the latter. Number 3, quiet quitting. Quiet quitting is when you stop giving a shit about your current job, spend all your time on the clock looking for a new one, and see how long you can continue to get paid before the higher-ups notice that you've completely checked out. Besides vandalism and the aforementioned rampant substance abuse, we think it's one of the coolest ways you can stick it to the man while still getting paid for it, at least for a week or two. Number 4, a very respectable 2-week notice. On a nice and quiet Monday morning, make your way into HR and tell the person working there, hey, it's been an absolute pleasure working in this office, but due to a variety of circumstances, I've decided to go in a different direction with my career. At this current juncture, I'd like to give you a 2 weeks notice and inform you that my last day will be XXX. Then, about a month after your last day, come back to the office and burn that fucker down to the ground. Number 5, quit your job via your list goals sidebar. Look, it's not that we don't love working for Rooster Magazine. In fact, this is the only publication we've ever worked for that let us put words like penis in our articles. However, at this current time, we've held on to the facade for too long and feel obligated to inform you all that we actually don't know how to read. While we have a phenomenal grasp of the English language, we've been using talk-to-text on our iPhone to draft all these out. And when we take the article to a middle schooler at the Dungeons and Dragons Club in the public library to proofread it and clean it up a bit, lately we've been paying him with vapes and Fortnite-related currency. His name is Spencer, and he's actually a pretty cool guy. We'll be handing him the reins from here on out. There's a quote on this page that says, we don't know what entirely became of Hayden in his later years, but if he had to choose between slinging chicken sandwiches or slinging metric shitloads of weed, we certainly hope he chose the latter. Marshall Dunham is a wannabe writer and comedian based out of Southwest Colorado. Talk shit to him on Instagram at gnarlshallfunham. That's GNARSHALLFUNHAM. And there's also a photo of a man with a king, like a Burger King crown on his head, talking into a microphone and pointing, wearing a uniform shirt that is red. The next column is Ask a DJ. Tom Shank Aaron, Colorado EDM DJ Shank Aaron, tackles life advice, delivering insights beyond his button-pushing expertise. There is a photo of what I'm assuming is Shank Aaron. He's wearing a cut-off black T-shirt that says, A Night of Music with Lionel Richie, All the Hits, All Night Long, North American Tour. He also has an orange ski cap on. He has a little bit of a beard, some scruff, actually. It looks like he has, under the ski hat, it looks like he has dark brown hair, and he is standing in the forefront of an illustration that looks to be kind of a haunted house illustration behind him. There is a framed portrait of what looks like a ghost on the wall. There is a chest of drawers. There's a weird-looking monkey/dog animal in the background, and there is a window that is open to the out. It's an illustration. It's not actually a photo. And the article starts, My friends are staying with me for some Red Rock shows. Now they won't leave. How can I get them out without being rude? I have actually dreamed of this situation for many years, so I'll share my plan. You go full haunted house on them. plus the haunted house picture, I'm assuming. Start small. Take all of their belongings and arrange them in neat piles around the room they are occupying. When they ask you about it, just say, oh yeah, this bitch is haunted AF. This actually happens all the time. Next, you want to kick it up a notch. Take some cheap laundry detergent and a paintbrush and invisibly paint creepy messages on their walls. Something direct like, it's time, Dakota. I'm assuming their name is Dakota. At night, when they are doom scrolling on their phone or laptop, the screens will illuminate your spooky message in the most unsettling way. If that doesn't scare them off, it's time to pull out all the stops. Put a half of a cherry popsicle in your shower head, so when they go to take a shower, it starts melting and they think they are being covered in blood. Put a Bluetooth speaker in a heater vent and play a 10-hour YouTube loop of creepy whisper voices. Get into it. The possibilities are endless, but the summer isn't, so get that guest room back. What are they doing with the First Bank Center? I heard it's getting demolished in September to make way for, you guessed it, more lame apartment buildings in Broomfield. To me, it's such a huge waste of money considering it was only built like 18 years ago, but it's the even bigger waste of money to hire someone to demolish it. If it was up to me, I would just throw one last rager. Dream lineup could be something like Slayer, Slaughter to Prevail, and throw Sudden Death in for good measure with Frank Azar. Strong Arm as master of ceremonies. We make it free for everyone, and instead of a security line, we just give you some goggles, a soft pretzel, and an axe handle and tell everyone to turn this place into the world's largest rage room. Finally, we can take out all of our anger on those expensive private boxes we could never afford. I don't know how much a professional demolition would cost, but I'm sure this would be cheaper. What's your favorite summertime activity? Disassociating. I'm talking about that deep kind, where you forget your own name. I suggest you go walk into an empty field and just stare off until the insanity of life in our current society just melts away, or until someone calls a wellness check on you. I also like tubing. Got a question for the Colorado legend himself? Send it to tom@therooster.com along with the track request for your next wedding. Our next column is Illuminati Today, our earless leader. By the time this magazine hits the stands, Trump getting almost assassinated might feel like old news, but you haven't gone through the looking glass with Illuminati Today yet. Was this staged by Trump or another attempted coup by the intelligence community? By Juan Wilder. There are a lot of ways to address this topic, and they're all politically awkward. So we're going to approach it from stage right at about 3,200 feet per second. Donald Trump got shot in the head. More accurately, his ear was nicked by a bullet. At least that's what it looked like. 3 other people got shot, and 2 of them died. One of those was the shooter, the lone gunman. The other just happened to have the worst seat in the house. You all remember the scene. By the time this magazine hits the stands, it might feel like old news. You might scoff at the headline and be tempted to lick your finger, flip the page, and forget again about this bizarro exposition of deep state humbuckery. But you haven't gone through the looking glass with Illuminati Today yet. So let's rewind. Pull the corporate news needle out, wrap your head in tinfoil, and think back, way back, to just a few weeks ago when a radical oddball made a martyr out of a man who already had a God complex and didn't need a bigger ego. So what happened? Mid-Trump rally, a dude was seen crawling on top of the only building with a direct line of sight on Trump. Ordinary people noticed him and told the police. Minutes passed. Counter-snipers watched the gunman from behind Trump as he took aim. Then, only after he'd taken the shot, did they pull their triggers, putting a bullet perfectly through the middle of the shooter's face, saving Private Ryan style. Weird shit afoot. The gunman was a registered Republican. His parents were both behavioral therapists. Some have theorized that he was radicalized by the recent Epstein documents that were released, indicating Trump's deep involvement with the child sex trafficking Mossad spy. Others have suggested that he was angered by Trump's recent distancing from Project 2025. However, both theories seem only half-baked to my fully baked brain. More realistically, this was a setup, not some angry 20-year-old incel outsmarting the most advanced political security detail in the world. So the question is, was this staged by Trump or another attempted coup by the intelligence community? Staged by Trump. The scene played out so cinematically that many people dismissed it as an over-the-top publicity stunt. Perhaps the gunman never posed a real threat. Maybe the shots fired were blanks and Trump slapped some fake blood on his ear. I've even heard some speculation Trump hired a sharpshooter accurate enough just to nick his head. But let's be real. If this had been a glorified theater exposition, we'd know by now. And Trump loves himself too much to let anyone shoot at him. Another intelligence coup. It's no secret that America's three-letter agencies do not like Donald Trump, the CIA, FBI, NSA, DOD. They all wanted him out as soon as he got into office the first time. He wouldn't play ball with them like other presidents. He threatened to fire long-standing head honchos like Bob Mueller and shook those deep state institutions up. He started screwing with them, and they started screwing him back. Chuck Schumer warned on live television that the intelligence community has 6 ways from Sunday to F with the president. MK Ultra hypno-programmed assassination must be number 6. Juan's word. I hate all politicians, including BJT. None of them should ever be excused for their corruption, misdeeds, and satanic bloodbath worship of demonic entities. But I think the intelligence community took an actual shot at Trump here and missed. They want another 4 years pulling strings behind a demented and mentally absent sitting president. They want another term without opposition to their unelected influence. Trump simply has too many brain cells left and doesn't bend to their bidding. Some people love him for that. The deep state clearly hate them for it. Will Brenza, a.k.a. Juan Wilder, is a ski bum writer who likes to smoke weed and shoot at UFOs. If he isn't pounding computer keys, you can find Will somewhere deep in the backcountry. Next up, hook up horoscopes. Aquarius, January 21st through February 18th. This month is all about breaking boundaries, both your own and those of others. You crave unconventional connections and unique experiences. Just remember, not everyone is on your wavelength. Be open to surprises, but don't settle for anything less than fucking amazing. Pisces, February 19th through March 20th. Your intuition is your superpower. Trust your gut feelings when it comes to potential partners. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't be afraid to swim away from murky, shark-infested waters. There are plenty of other fish in the sea. Aries, March 21st through April 19th. This month brings a fiery inferno to your love life. You're hot, they're hot, everyone's hot, but don't get burned. Pace yourself, Aries. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Stay hydrated and maybe invest in some aloe and bandages to cover all your chafed parts, and there will definitely be some chafing. Taurus, April 20th through May 20th. You're craving stability and emotional connection now. Ditch the hookup apps and try a good old-fashioned conversation. Who knows, you might find someone to binge-watch Netflix and chill with. This will give you the opportunity to regroup and revive your legendary sex drive. Gemini, May 21st through June 20th. August is sure to be your playground. Your charm is irresistible and options are endless. Just remember, variety is the spice of life, but too much spice can give you indigestion. Don't forget to have some real talk amidst all the fun. You must stimulate your mind along with your various naughty parts if you want to thrive. Cancer, June 21st through July 22nd. This month will find you on an emotional roller coaster. You crave intimacy, but also fear vulnerability. Find someone who can handle your mood swings and make you laugh. Bonus points if they can cook you comfort food, know how to read, and are willing to try new positions in bed. Leo, July 23rd through August 22nd. You're the star of the show this month. Okay, you're the star of the show every month. Your confidence is magnetic, drawing admirers like moths to a flame. Just remember, not everyone's flame is worth getting burned by. Choose your partners wisely, or you might end up with singed fur or herpes. Better yet, maybe you should just stay out. Virgo, August 23rd through September 22nd. Your analytical mind might overthink things now. Like, relax, have fun, and let go of your need for perfection and your irritating demand for control of everything. Sometimes a messy hookup can be just as satisfying as a perfectly planned date. Libra, September 23rd through October 22nd. This month is all about balance. You want both companionship and freedom. You want to fuck and to cuddle. Find someone who understands your need for both and won't tie you down. Remember, even your fickle nature needs a break sometimes. Scorpio, October 23rd through November 21st. Your intensity is off the charts this month. Not that anyone will be able to tell the difference from every other month. You crave deep connection and passionate encounters. Just remember, not everyone can handle your spooky power. Choose your partners wisely, or you might end up getting tangled up in a situation you don't want. Sagittarius, November 22nd through December 21st. Your adventurous spirit is calling. This is the perfect time to explore new territories, both geographically and romantically. Just remember that every adventure ends like the fairy tales of yore. Be prepared for some unexpected twists and turns. Also beware of stalkers who are attracted to your energy. And lastly, Capricorn, December 21st through January 20th. You're focused on your goals now, but don't forget to have some fun along the way. A casual fuck might be just what you need to blow off some steam and recharge your batteries. On the other hand, an extended work session gets you just as hot as sex does. It's a win-win for you this month. Also on this page, stroking the pole, P-O-L-L. Would you rather your partner go with what works or try new things? Go with what works, 27%. Try new things, 73%. Follow us on Instagram @RoosterMag for more sex polls throughout the month. And $2,500, an archaic law in Michigan, which has been on the books since 1931, states that, quote, any man who shall seduce and debauch any unmarried woman shall be guilty of a felony, unquote. If found guilty, the man can be punished with up to 5 years in the state prison or a fine of no more than $2,500. Next up, next to the book of horoscopes is an ad for Romantix, ROMANTIX, adult store. Visit us in-store or online at romantix.com. Lingerie, sex toys, fetish, pride gear, hosiery. The image is of a torso with a bunch of hands covering different private parts. Romantix is located in Denver, Lakewood, and Colorado Springs. Next up, we have Blind Date, a tequila shot at love. Leanne and Zach let tequila guide their date at Boulder's High Country restaurant. Let's meet the daters. Leanne, she is an Aquarius, venue director, and private chef. Why are you going on a rooster blind date? Why not? She says. What's a good way to win you over? Good dinner, good drinks, good conversation. Most irrational fear, the dark mysteries of deep water. What's your greatest strength? It's a strength and a weakness, wearing my heart on my sleeve. Never have I ever eaten sea urchin. I've heard mixed reviews, but I have to try everything once. Do you want kids? Unsure. I'm open to it. I don't want the option of no kids, though. I don't want to be with someone who definitely doesn't want kids. What do you geek out on? Anything food and hospitality related. Curated dinners, menus, food, wine, all that stuff. Immediate red flags. A lack of conversation in the sense that they are just talking about themselves the whole time, and it doesn't feel like an actual conversation. And a lack of similar interests. Immediate green flags. Similar interests. Somebody else that feels compassionate. Somebody that's driven and passionate about their hobbies or career. Zach is a leasing manager, and he is a Pisces. Why are you going on a rooster blind date? I say yes to crazier things every single day. What's a good way to win you over? Show passion for the little things in life. Most irrational fear, snakes. I don't trust armless lizards. If they have arms, I'm good. If you've ever drawn eyebrows and arms on snakes, they don't look intimidating. I just don't trust them. What's your greatest strength? If you ask my buddy Adam, it's catching really small trout. Never have I ever stolen 2 fancy beer glasses from a bar in Tel Aviv. Do you want kids? At least 2, and they are all getting their own dogs. What do you geek out on? Absolutely everything in my life. All my hobbies. Hobbies change by the season. This weekend, I'll be spending my entire time climbing around mountains, shooting my bow, and fly fishing. Immediate red flags, a real can't-do attitude. If they are not confident in themselves, it's going to be really tough for me. Immediate green flags, pocket bacon. Round 1 of the blind date. We arrive at one of Boulder's newest restaurants, High Country, on a perfect summer evening, excited to see what they've done with the place. We meet Zach, who's already at the bar sipping a beer. We love a man who comes early. Leanne arrives looking stunning and hungry. After a cocktail or two, we pull them aside to get the scoop. How's it going so far? Zach says, honestly, really good. We've spent more time talking than eating, so that's usually a good sign. Leanne says, good. I feel like there's fluid conversation, exciting topics that we're talking about and interesting in talking about, and we have similar interests. What are your first impressions of the dater? Zach says, I really liked her skirt and tattoos. Leanne says, I don't want to be mean. He looks too young. He's kind of young for me. I just generally go for older guys. Too young, but he looks very nice. What was the first thing you noticed about your date? Zach says, probably the skirt and tattoos. Leanne says, he looked well put together. Is this the type of person you'd normally date? Zach says, I wouldn't say I have a normal person to date. I go off personality. People who are truly passionate about what they do are the ones that catch my eye. And Leanne says, no, just. Where do you normally meet partners? Zach, usually mutual connections. And Leanne says, I hate dating apps, but sometimes dating apps. I feel like I've been on 50 first dates from dating apps, but only a few second and third dates. Or in person. Some of my past partners are someone I've worked with or I've met at shows. I love live music. What are you most nervous about for tonight? Zach says, forgetting to pack my waders for this weekend. I'm like Rory because the only thing that makes me nervous is 3-foot putts. Leanne says, the interview. I feel like I can get along with anybody. I am an expert first dater, but answering interview questions makes me nervous. But here I am doing it. Did you get any advice for the date? Zach says, no. I usually am the one giving advice, not receiving it. My entire office knows I'm here. And Leanne says, just have fun and be myself. How did you prepare for the date? Zach says, fledged a couple dozen arrows, organized my fly box, and reverse seared a 20-ounce ribeye. It's what I do for every day. Leanne says, I didn't. I ran from work. I work around the corner. Got out of the call and ran here. How did your date dress tonight? Zach says, she looks very cute. Leanne says, clean cut and preppy. I like them a little more rugged with some facial hair. I realized I didn't describe the images, the pictures of the daters. Leanne is a woman and she has brown hair. She looks to have pierced ears. She's wearing a black tank top in this photo, and you can see part of a tattoo on her left shoulder. And then Zach does look very preppy. He's wearing a button-down shirt that looks to be white, perhaps. He has brown hair that is cut very kind of square, and he's smiling. Both of them are smiling in their photos. They also both present as white. Round 2. Wow. Has Zach been camping? Because he is intense. The eye contact pierces straight to our souls. Somehow, that doesn't seem to bother Leanne. Are they similar, or are their personalities a bit too much to mesh romantically? We send them back with 2 tequila shots, hopeful that they find some common ground. How was dinner at High Country? Zach says, pretty good. I really enjoyed my summit bowl. Leanne says, delicious. I really liked the pork belly bites. I got the mushroom burger sandwich, and it was really good too. How's the date going? Zach says, I've enjoyed every second of tonight. I am the kind of person who enjoys every second of every day of every minute. I get paid to meet people and show them a good time, so it's in my nature. Leanne says, good. I can get along with anybody. We're having a great conversation and fun times. He's a lot more fun than I thought. Do you guys have anything in common? Zach says, we have a ton in common, but it's not necessarily what I'm looking for in a partner. Leanne says, yeah, I think that we both love music, outdoors, and a lot of classical Colorado things. What do you like about your date? Zach says, oh my God, she's got great music taste. She has incredible cooking skills. She's outgoing. She's very caring, and she loves dogs. Leanne says, the surprise, he actually was down for the tequila shot, and then he ordered a second after he said he's not much of a drinker. What do you not like about your date? Zach says, there's not a single thing not to like about Leanne. Leanne says, I'm just not physically attracted to him, but I'm not going to say that makes me not like the date. What's the most attractive thing your date has done so far? Zach says, oh my God, I can sit here talking about her cooking all day. When she was describing what she would do to a rack of lamb, ooh, that's what dreams are made of right there. Leanne says, talking about music, the way he was referring to music. Let's leave it at that. How would your parents feel about the dater? Zach says, I think they would tell me exactly what they've told me about every girl I've ever dated. They do not have the direct hobbies and lifestyle that match my own personality. And Leanne says, my parents are the nicest people. They can talk to anyone, probably from years working in the medical field. What's been the best part of the date so far? Zach says, the overall chemistry while talking. I didn't get close to finishing any of my food. She went round 2 on tequila shots. That's huge. Leanne says, the tequila shots. I know the bars in Boulder don't have shitty well tequila unless you go to the Outback. What could make the date better? Zach says, more dad jokes. Leanne says, more tequila. He feels like a brotherly friend to me. How's the chemistry on a scale of 1 to 10? Zach says, I would probably say a 7 or an 8, but I'm looking for a 10. Leanne says, there's not really any chemistry there for me. I'd give it a 1, maybe a 2 to be nice. Where would you like the date to go from here? Zach says, ideally, me going home and packing for the next 3 days as I have way too much stuff to do. And Leanne says, to my dog, who's waiting for me to feed her dinner. There are a few photographs that accompany the article. One is of a sandwich with some fries. The middle photo is of Leanne and Zach toasting their tequila shots. And then the third photo is of a Breckenridge vodka with lemon, orange, and bitters. Next up, we'll do August music shows. And we will start with August 13th. Alice Cooper at the Mission Ballroom. August 14th, the Beach Boys at Levitt Pavilion. August 16th, the Rooster presents Moon Tricks with Sun Jr. at the Fox Theater. August 17th, Danga with Baldy at Club Vinyl. August 17th, Ice Spice with Cash Cobain at the Fillmore Auditorium. August 22nd and 23rd, Sullivan King with Grabbits at the Fox Theater. The Rooster presents on August 24th, Gimme Gimme Disco at the Fox Theater. And on August 27th, Future and Metro Boomin at Ball Arena. August 29th, 30th, and 31st, Fish will be at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. If we didn't add them to our list of shows, every friend from New York and beyond would lambaste us for not recognizing the genius that is Fish. Go for the music, go for the parking lot party, or go because your friend group would ostracize you if you don't. But nonetheless, just go. August 30th, Hosier, Fiddler's Green Amphitheater. The Irish musician catapulted into the top 40 with his 2014 hit, Take Me to Church, showcasing his blues, soul, folk sound. He's back with a new album, Unreal Unearthed. Hosier makes a stop next to our financial advisor's office at Fiddler's Green for what should be a great show. August 29th, Lamb of God and Mastodon with Carrie King and Malevolence at Red Rocks Amphitheater. And the Rooster presents on August 30th, O'Geezy with 310 Baby Young Chowder at the Boulder Theater. And on August 31st, Ghostland Observatory at the Gothic. Our last article this month is the big opener, Flora and Fauna. In only her second year being a full-time artist, Alexandria Pangburn has carved out a name for herself among the great muralists in the Mile High City with her towering Georgia O'Keeffe-esque murals. The Kentucky native moved to Denver not knowing what to expect, but instantly fell in love with the West. Her artwork embodies the beautiful nature, landscapes, and animals, topping with vibrant color combinations that make her style hers. There is a photograph, along with this article, of Alexandria Pangburn, along with her cute dog. She appears to be wearing hiking boots, black leggings, a gray pullover, and a green baseball cap. She's wearing sunglasses, and it does look like she has longish blonde hair. And she's sitting in front of one of her murals, I'm assuming, that is two birds, very vibrantly colored. There is also images of a couple of flowers, and the birds are in the forefront. The background is yellow with kind of mid-mod looking stripes in brown, orange, and a couple of degrees of yellow. Her hometown, Winchester, Kentucky. Favorite ice cream flavor, peanut butter chocolate chip. Advice to live by, no regrets. Strangest thing in your fridge right now, hummingbird food. Every artist should have a fold-up wagon. Favorite bear, black. Sushi or burrito. Right now, sushi. Last book you read, Women Who Run with the Wolves. One thing you can't live without, my calendar planner. And guilty pleasure, drumstick ice cream cones. What inspired you to make art featuring animals and nature? The colors of nature and the elegance of birds and animals are inspiring for me to paint. I always aim to paint animals in a way that shows their grace and power. The details of both are so mesmerizing, and my biggest challenge is to capture that in my work. I always love painting my surroundings because I can submerge myself in every aspect of it. You're originally from Kentucky. What made you decide to move to Colorado? I moved to Colorado with my partner in 2017, having only been out here once, and I instantly fell in love with the West. Your use of vibrant colors paired with neutrals is very distinctive, and you describe your style in your own words. I really love the juxtaposition of graphic design elements with the realism of my flora and fauna. It's incredibly satisfying. I would categorize it as contemporary Western art. What items do you absolutely have to have with you when you work on a mural? I have to have my fold-up wagon, AirPods, iPad, and snacks. Always snacks. Have you always known you wanted to be an artist? No, I've always loved art and making art, but it was never a thought in my mind to take it as a career until I moved here. My creativity has really grown since moving here, and the community has been so supportive. I love my supporters, and I couldn't be here without them. There are 3 photos of 3 murals on this page. The top one is really long and horizontal. The graphic art that she mentioned behind the image of the bird is different shades of dark blue, almost purple, with flower petals throughout the whole thing. And in front, on top of this graphic image, is what appears to be either an eagle or a hawk. And it looks like the eagle/hawk, I think it's a hawk actually, is trying to catch a horseshoe that is kind of suspended in the air there. The second mural is of rams. They are on top of another graphic design, which is also flowers. It looks to be a black background with white flowers, and the rams are really vibrant in a sort of a green hue. They're all green. And then the third image looks to be steers, cow steers. Is that an oxymoron? Maybe. One of the steers is brown. The other one is more fawn colored with some spots. And their image is on top of a graphic design of what appears to be red, sort of rose-colored tulips with their green leaves and stems. Another question for the artist. Tell us a little about your passion project, Babe Walls, and what makes it so special. Babe Walls is a huge part of what I do and who I am as an artist. The Babe Walls community is here to create space for women and non-binary artists, not just in the Denver area, but worldwide. We're taking our 2024 to Chambly, Georgia this year. What are you up to when you aren't making art? Riding horses, hiking with my dog, fishing, but mostly I'm always doing art. What is the scariest part of being an artist and how do you overcome it? This is an ongoing challenge. Being a full-time artist is hard, all in caps. You wear so many hats and have to really hustle to survive. I wouldn't have it any other way. This is something that I'm still overcoming. I'm only in my second year being a full-time artist, and it's a roller coaster. Do you have any exciting projects coming up that you can share with us? I'm really excited about our Babe Wells Festival this year in Chamblee, Georgia. We've been working with a local Georgia artist for 2 years to make this happen, and it's finally coming to fruition. It'll be November 7th through the 10th. Who have been your biggest influences in life and art? Georgia O'Keeffe forever. Current inspirations are artists Lisa King, Drew Merritt, and Josie Morway. Are there any pieces that you've done that are extra close to your heart? I've got one piece that I just can't seem to let go of. It's one of the first pieces I did for my first solo show in Colorado back in 2020 from my Women of the West series. It was my first go at painting metal, and I really love how it came out. What are you most excited for at Art Fest 2024? The connections and the collaborations. I've never done a fest like this one before, so I'm excited to see what it's all about. And the image that accompanies the article on this page is of a skull that has green and white paint on it, but it's definitely a skull. Sitting on top of the skull is a pinkish red bird that has some green around its beak. And these are on top of the graphic design of purple flowers. And then there's also white polka dot on the background as well. Thank you for joining us for the Rooster Podcast. My name is Dawn.